Okay, hi everyone. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Hannah. I'm a wellness chef and a holistic nutritionist for anyone that's tuning in on the recording. And tonight we're gonna make like literally one of the easiest dinners. Easy because it takes 15 minutes. It came from my freezer in my pantry. So like, thank God, because it's the end of the day and I don't have much zhuzh left in me. So that's kind of our vibe tonight. So first things first, we're making, so I didn't even tell you what we're making. We're making zucchini noodles with a homemade roasted red pepper pesto with canned artichokes and cherry tomatoes, which mine went off. So no cherry tomatoes for me tonight, but you get the gist, some cheese, it'll be fine. So zucchini spirals, I bought them frozen this time. You can buy them fresh, or you can like grow your own zucchini and take a vegetable peeler and make big ribbons of zucchini, which I've done before. It's a good option, or you can use a spiralizer. I actually don't have a spiralizer because I don't like when I have too many kitchen gadgets. I feel like they get lost in the drawers and then I'm like, what is this? So I bought the pre-spiralized ones and I think that's totally fine. So, so they're frozen. So I'm just gonna give these a little head start. So look, it's literally zucchini spirals. It's kind of like noodles, but veggies. So I'm gonna take a skillet like this and just kind of get these going just to thaw, give them a little head start. We'll coat our pan with a little bit of olive oil, just a little bit, because honestly, these will mostly just steam and defrost right now.
That gas range though.
What, Amanda?
That gas range. Yes.
Right? This is funny. I've never seen it. It's little like zucchini flowers almost it comes in, which is optimal for defrosting. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a lid on that and kind of check on it every now and then. I don't set timers. I don't pay attention. Oh, that's so pretty. So you can wait a second even until you put yours in the pan.
Oh,
okay. I have a spiralizer, so we spiralize.
fancy.
I love the different options like in these classes that people bring. Like sometimes people will be like, I don't have zucchini, what can I use? And someone made a spaghetti squash the other night instead, which came out really well. It's another good alternative. Okay, so my zucchini is defrosting. Caitlin's gonna wait a minute on hers because hers will take like 4 minutes to cook probably, because it's really just softening them. So we are gonna make a homemade roasted red pepper pesto. So you could buy store-bought pesto. I use that all the time, but I figured the dish is easy enough. We might as well make homemade. So I'm just doing some store-bought basil. It's like the base of any good pesto, but you could also substitute parsley, which I believe Caitlin's doing. Parsley is such an underrated herb for pestos. That's like one thing I learned. I actually studied in Italy for a while at culinary school, and they made a bunch of, what would he call it? Like, I think he'd call it green sauce, and it was just parsley, garlic, and lemon juice. And it was so good on over meat or seafood. Zucchini noodles. So what?
Sounds like chimichurri.
Yeah.
Like those things.
Yeah.
Which I don't really know what's in chimichurri, but it sounds like that.
I think the essence is that it's a really bright flavor, a bright sauce. I have some left over in my fridge right now. Okay. So I have about a cup of basil in my food processor. And then I'm going to add a handful of roasted salted almonds. Now, you can use any type of nut that you have. This will make for a bit of a coarse pesto. It's not going to be like super smooth. If you wanted super smooth, you could use pine nuts or cashews. That would make it smoother, but I kind of like the rustic vibe in this. So any type of nut you have. And then the other key ingredient in pesto is Parmesan cheese. So I'm just going to add about a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese into the pesto. And I'm going to save some to mix into our zucchini noodles. So I love a good cheese pull. And then garlic. So I love garlic. So usually my recipes will say like add 1 to 2 cloves, and then you'll see me adding 4. So it's like add as much garlic as you want. I'm going to add, let's see, 1, 2. I'm gonna add 2 big cloves is what I'm gonna do. Which feels like fairly normal. I think anyone else would be safe adding 2 as well. So maybe I should add a half of a third. Just for good measure. It'll be nice and garlicky. Okay. So about 2 cloves into the food processor. And then the next ingredient, and this is what makes it a little bit unique, is we're gonna add, this has been in my fridge for a while, so I'm just giving it a smell. It's good, which is good. It'll keep for a while. We're gonna add a roasted red pepper. So this just comes from a jar. It's literally just jarred roasted red pepper. Yeah, perfect. And I'm just gonna
Fancy.
Yeah, really fancy. This is like, this is how you eat well, is you get help from trusted sources like Whole Foods.
Right.
So I'm gonna add, ooh, a little slippery, guys. About 1 whole pepper into this. Just like trying to get it. Usually I use a fork. But add about 1 red pepper. And this is nice because it'll create like red peppers, when they're roasted, they get almost like a sweetness to them. So it's a nice, unique, balanced flavor in this pesto. Adds a really nice depth. Okay, so far, just to get a little recap. Looks like Christmas in here. I have, I have roasted red peppers, basil, Parmesan, garlic, and nuts. Now I'm gonna add a pinch of salt and pepper. And we taste for seasoning as we go. So I never measure my salt and pepper. I'm gonna take the lid off my zucchini so that the water can evaporate, because since they were frozen, there's a bit of water that I'm just gonna let that evaporate. I'll show you. Okay. And the last ingredient that we're gonna add to our pesto is olive oil. So I'm just gonna start with a little drizzle and then give it a whirl. And I'm using a food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you can use a blender, a little NutriBullet, whatever you have. Okay. Oh, it smells so good. I'm just gonna drizzle in a little bit more olive oil.
How do you know when it's done?
You
I've
know,
never made pesto.
okay, so it's like a consistency thing. So you want it to be, this pesto is a bit, like I said, coarser. I'm trying to not use the word chunky, but it's a little more chunky than other pestos. But typically you want it to be like a smooth sauce, like you would see in a like a container pesto. But this, I'll show you what this looks like. It's like not like fully liquid, but just like spreadable. And honestly, there's no rhyme or reason to it. Like if you added a 1/4 cup more olive oil, it would be delicious. If you added 2 tablespoons less, it would still be delicious. It's just enough to kind of blend it all together. And so the most important thing, you just want to taste it to make sure that your seasoning's right. And it is. It's like awkward when that happens, because I feel like I should add like another pinch of salt and pepper, but it actually it tastes really good. I just have to add another pinch. Okay, so the pesto is good. We're gonna set that aside. And this, again, pesto, it's super versatile. If you don't have red pepper, just use basil. That'll still be delicious. If you don't have nuts, I've made it without nuts. If you don't have cheese, or like if you're lactose intolerant, just don't use the cheese and it'll still be really good. Okay. So if you see, the liquid has now evaporated. Before there was like kind of a puddle of liquid, but if you just keep the lid off for a couple minutes, it just evaporates. And Caitlin, if you haven't already, add your zucchini to your pan. I love that. I have to sneeze. It's not
Bless you
coming.
in advance.
It went away. Okay. So the next ingredient is another favorite of mine. And this is like borderline our last ingredient. How easy is that? So canned artichokes. I love these because I can keep them in my pantry. I can forget about them and I can pull them out at any time to put in like a salad, into a pasta dish, into a grain bowl, what have you. They don't go bad and it's just extra vegetable and it's nice and kind of meaty almost.
David did a dance when he mentioned artichoke hearts, so
Oh, really?
he's excited about them. He's
Shares the
he's
love.
sitting next to me.
Okay. Just gave mine a little drain. And you can even, for like extra, I'm all about shortcuts. You could even buy them already quartered. And yet I bought them whole. So I'm going to quarter them with my knife. But you can buy them quartered. I don't know why. It's kind of like it's like a mind thing. I just feel like they're fresher if I buy them not quartered. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I've done so far. Okay. So just cutting these, and then you can add, after you cut them, just add these artichokes right into your pan with your zucchini noodles and give it a shake. And if you're using tomatoes, add those in now as well. I love to add just like cherry tomatoes, or even sometimes I'll add like a handful of spinach to this dish, just to pack in some extra greens.
What happens if you put spinach in pesto?
You know,
Does that make it weird?
I've been
No.
like, have you heard of kale pesto?
I've never made pesto.
I've
Okay.
done it. I've done pesto with the carrot tops, the carrot greens, just to
Okay.
save them.
Interesting.
Good.
Green. Sneak it in.
Was it good?
It was amazing.
Okay. So this is what it looks like.
That looks good.
And like, that's literally it. I'm going to throw in a little salt and pepper here. And then what I'm going to do is add our gorgeous pesto to this. So you can add enough to coat. You might have leftovers. Save them and use them on, you can sear some fish the next night, like a nice easy marinade, or some chicken, or some pasta. Okay. So I'm just kind of giving it a stir with my spatula. Make sure there's enough to coat. And I just did one bag of zucchini. But if you're looking for more people, like more than two, I would use 2 bags of zucchini. And if you want to add some extra protein to this dish, I love doing seared shrimp with like a white wine garlic sauce. That's a favorite of mine. Okay. I used almost all the pesto, but there's just a little bit left. And then I'm gonna top off so this is what it looks like right now.
It is beautiful.
It is beautiful. And it smells like Italy, which is the best part. Winter my pizza. And then I'm just gonna add, I have like that much cheese. I'm just gonna add it to the pan. A couple tablespoons. Mozzarella would also be really good in this. Turning off my heat, dinner's done.
This was literally so easy.
Isn't it easy?
In my brain, it was going to be harder.
Yeah. I know, that's what most people think. So that's like, it's fun to just like do it with people and like chat while you're doing it, because then it's like, oh wait, did I just do that? Like, what? Doesn't it look good? And the most important part, you have to taste it for seasoning. Okay. Just trying to get a little bit, not burn myself. How's yours looking, Caitlin? Oh my gosh, it's so good.
I don't like fresh tomatoes. I like them cooked, so I'm just gonna like you can't see that. Blister mine to put on top. That's the only way I can eat them.
Yeah. Yeah.
What we're doing.
I love it. Amanda, do you have any other questions?
No, I'm just so sorry that I like don't have the energy to cook
Don't be
because
sorry.
it looks so good.
I know.
And I want to
I'll have
eat.
to come cook it for you soon.
Girl, don't tempt me with a good time
I know. I love it
because I will take you up on that.
I'll be there. No, but it's so simple and it really does taste like it could come out of an Italian restaurant, but it's literally all vegetables. So that's a win in my book. I feel like I'm being healthy and nourishing the foodie in me. So that's
Your girl would be adding
that's all
chicken.
taste of the Hannah cooking for you.
I love it. What else do people need to know?
What else do people need to know? What do they want to know?
Yeah. I don't know. Caitlin, what do you think people would want to know? Probably that it's totally fine to take shortcuts. I think we put all these like rules on ourselves where we're like, it's not a real meal if I don't do everything from scratch. Who cares?
The
Buy
number
the jar of roasted red peppers.
that I would want people to know is that the kitchen is a playground. It's a place to have fun. It's a place to not be serious. It's to get out of your head and into what you're doing, get creative, light stuff on fire. I exploded a spaghetti squash in my microwave the other week and it was really funny because I chose to look at it like that, right? I wasn't like freaking out because it was funny. Like I was teaching it.
Did your microwave survive?
Yeah, it was like my microwave, I was literally teaching a class and it was like poof, and like opened and I was like, whoa, look at this, everyone. And it
Saves you time in cutting it too, right?
totally. Yeah. Yeah, that was in my cook well program. So yeah, that's good.
So if we wanted to learn more recipes from you, how could we do that? How could you keep teaching us?
Sure. So I'm actually starting a really fun, so I have a group program called Cookwell. It's an 8-week group program where we do classes like this once a week and get a bunch of recipes in between. And I'm launching a healthy holiday series starting in November. So it's basically like picture going to a holiday party and bringing a dish and it's filled with like nutrients and healthy stuff. But every person in the party is asking you for the recipe, like that kind of, you know what I mean? Healthy, but tastes really good. And people don't really know it.
Smart.
Yeah.
Good for you, dude. That's a great idea.
Yeah. So that starts in November. And so if anyone's interested in that, I don't know, Amanda, do they have my contact info? They probably will.
They will.
Yeah. Yeah. So just like send me a message, look on my website. It'll all be there.
Good for you. That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's it. But like, thank you guys for having me and sharing my kitchen with your community. I hope everyone is able.
I hope everybody watches it and tells us how great it is because I'm going to make it.
It'll be more appealing because it's only 20 minutes, so it's like easy.
Literally so fast.
Yay!
Down. Do you want to stop the recording?